Red Joan is apparently based loosely on the story of Melita Norwood, which inspired a novel by Jenny Rooney. So we have fiction playing with fact here. An ageing Joan Stanley, Judi Dench, is seen at the very beginning of the film being arrested by Special Branch for 27 breaches of the Official Secrets Act. Questioned, her mind goes back to those days in the mid-1930s, when she was a natural science student at Cambridge, specialising in physics. And here she's played by Sophie Cookson. Her entanglement with a much more sophisticated older student, Sonia, Teresa Sprova, leads to her introduction to the Socialist Society, where she becomes intoxicated with the charisma, the passion, the romanticism, the left-wing idealism of Sonia's supposed cousin, Leo, Tom Hughes. When Joan gets an appointment to an organisation called Tube Alloys, a top-secret laboratory that's actually working on nuclear fission, she becomes valuable to the Russian-born and communist-committed duo of Leo and Sonia. But it's also there that she meets Max Davis, Stephen Campbell Moore, and falls in love with him, a married man.
Imagine one atom split.
Producing huge amounts of energy.
War-ending bomb.
This quite fascinating tale pits a story of a spy, a traitor, against a woman who actually seemed to have the best interests of the world at heart. Was it a good thing to give the Russians their heads up on nuclear fission, given that the Americans and the British had it also? Would that cause a standoff in any future war? These are the questions posed. At the heart of this story is young Joan herself, a simply fabulous performance by young Sophie Cookson, who takes us through the emotional, political and romantic journey of this young woman with such access to her emotions at every stage. It's extraordinary how we become involved in her narrative arc. Judi Dench is as ever sublime in her role, but what has to be said about Trevor Nunn's direction is that it is prosaic. You get what you are given, a narrative tale well told with no directorial flourishes. It is a trifle flat, very British.
Certainly a very stodgy film, this, isn't it? And it's interesting that...
It's very staid, yes.
And Trevor Nunn is one of the, or has been one of the major British theatre directors, has run the, major companies, the National Theatre Company and so on. And but here it gives no sense at all that he has the slightest idea of what to do with the cinema. I
don't think he's directed a film for many years.
Yeah, and he must be about 106 now, I think. So it's been quite a while. It really is a rather...
He's an older one than Clint Eastwood.
Now, Clint knows what he's doing when he gets behind the camera. Mr. Trevor Nunn doesn't have a clue. It's a very stodgy thing. And I just wanted to see more of Judi Dench in this because she's absolutely fabulous. We don't see enough of it. She's very underused, I think, though when she's there, it's absolutely terrific. But overall, the story didn't really grab me. I thought she was rather sort of stupid woman. She's totally manipulated by these not very good spies at university. And
didn't you like her? I thought she was really charming.
Yeah, but again, just all a bit sort of obvious. I mean, she just falls into bed with anyone that sort of looks at her twice. So I thought that was all a bit sort of incredible.
What?
Yes, she does. And I couldn't believe the romance she has with the much older chap. The physicist, that seemed to be pretty incredible. I didn't believe, as you'd suggested, that she was in love with him. That just seemed to be convenience more than anything else.
Look, I don't know. Look, I don't think it's a great film, but I think it's really quite an interesting one. I'd give it 3.5 stars.
No, I'd give it 3.
Is anything you ever told me actually true?
I was fighting for the living. I loved my country.
We don't have much time.
Use your heart instead of your head.
I have no idea how important you are.